Good to have you with us on this edition of the Urban Debate. Viewers, tonight we're going to bring you the second part of our special broadcast with an exhaustive Times Now See voter survey that has been done for the poll-bound states. And we're going to focus on the big personalities. We're going to focus on the chief ministers currently and the chief minister candidates and how the voters perceive the performance of the chief ministers, their governments, and who could possibly replace them, if at all. But before we get to all of that, first I want to start off with the big developing story we've got for you here, and which is the story of West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee claiming she was attacked in a dramatic turn of events on the day that Mamata Banerjee filed her nomination for the elections from Nandigram, specifically Haldia. In the evening came this news where she spoke to a few reporters, including ours, saying that she was attacked, that the car door was jammed against her legs, and her legs in fact have been injured, that she'll be now going back to Kolkata. A very, very dramatic sequence, and of course this is also a big political twist. Mamata Banerjee claims there was no police official present at that point of time. The chief minister of a state is saying that there were no cops present when 4 to 5 men attacked her in Nandigram district. Keep in mind, there is a huge controversy going on over the Bengal DGP as well, and now yet again another law and order controversy that has erupted. BJP, of course, has outright rejected this as a political ploy to gain sympathy. But first up, let's take a look at that sequence. Before we get into the details, take a look at what Mamata Banerjee claimed.
चार पांच आदमी ने मैं गाड़ी का इधर में खड़ा होकर कर रहा था। चार पांच आदमी ने मेरे को गाड़ी पूरा बंद कर दिया और हमको पूरा चोट हो गया। देखो कितना पुल,
कहाँ आपको चोट लगी है दीदी?
पूरा पुल गया।
दीदी
क्या कलकत्ता वापस जाएंगी? अभी जा रहे हैं, अभी बहुत दर्द हो रहा है, अभी जोर।
और ये कहाँ पे हुआ दीदी? एग्जैक्ट जगह कौन सी है? बरोलिया बाजार में। और कितने लोग थे?
पब्लिक बहुत थे, पब्लिक का बात नहीं है। चार पांच जानबूझ के किया।
और कहाँ का चोट लगा आपको? कहाँ का चोट लगा? पैर में?
पैर में पूरा वो फूल गया पूरा।
हाँ दीदी, किसी की साजिश है? किसी की साजिश है दीदी? साजिश है किसी की?
लोकल पुलिस कोई नहीं था।
लोकल पुलिस से कोई नहीं था?
एसपी भी नहीं था, लोकल पुलिस कोई नहीं था।
हाँ
इतना पूरा दिन प्रोग्राम किया।
शिकायत करेंगे चुनाव आयोग में दीदी?
हाँ
शिकायत करेंगे चुनाव आयोग में?
जानबूझ के किया।
हाँ
जानबूझ के किया। मेरे को चेस्ट में पेन हो रहा है।
और दीदी जो आपका
मेरे को जाने दो, मेरे को कोलकाता जाने दो।
आप कलकत्ता जा रहे हैं?
Well, so this is the first sequence, and our reporter Siddhant was right there out front speaking to Mamata Banerjee when she unfolded this story, made these allegations. Now, as she began to move out, the car stopped again. And then there was more action that we saw unfold on ground, where Mamata Banerjee, clearly uncomfortable, seemingly in pain there, had to be shifted by her security personnel to the back seat of the car. Take a look at that sequence as well.
एक बार टाइम्स नाउ को बता दीजिए, we really want to speak once. Okay, just stay on these visuals. I'll try to put question for our viewers because she was interested speaking to Times Now. When she saw us, she started speaking. Okay, her security personnel are not allowing us. We'll take that question. She's getting out of the car. She's not well. It appears she's not well. She's getting out of the car. The security personnel are bringing her out of the car and she has been shifted to the back seat. Very dramatic visuals here on ground. Okay, she is being shifted to the back seat of the car by her security personnel. I hope Rakesh Shavla is giving those shots. We are playing it live. She will be taken to the hospital. She is going back to the Kolkata. She had also told me that she has a pain on the chest and this is the reason she can't speak much. We tried taking questions from her. She's alleging that there was no police personnel. She suffered the injury and you can see the security personnel are trying to make her comfortable inside the vehicle, and And this has happened in a place called Barolia, which is in Nandigram. Didi is alleging conspiracy. You can see this is happening here in Nandigram, right next to the rented house which Mamata Banerjee has taken. We are the first channel giving you the live shots of these very, very, very dramatic visuals, a complete U-turn maybe in the politics of the Nandigram.
So that's what has happened. Of course, the BJP has turned back and said this seems like a political ploy really to gain sympathy. Who's going to attack Mamata Banerjee? We can investigate if you want, but that's what it looks like. Let's begin and open this up for conversation, and then we will also bring you the exhaustive details of the survey we've carried out and focus on what people think of Mamata Banerjee. Where really does the perception stand for Mamata versus her rivals, for her government versus the other contenders? I say good evening to Priyanka Tibrewal of the BJP, Shoptik Chakrabarti, member of the TMC, Snigdhendu Bhattacharya, journalist and an author, joins us this evening, and Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay, senior journalist and author, also joining us this evening. First up, let's get Mr. Chakrabarti to respond to what is being said. Mr. Chakrabarti, in your own state, how can this happen to the Chief Minister? Not only is it a big question mark on the law and order situation then, but also the BJP seems to suggest this is a political ploy. Your response?
Good evening, but I don't know how good is the evening, because I feel it's one of the darkest hours our country's politics is going through. Mamata Banerjee is not only the head of Trinamool, but she is the Chief Minister of Bengal. And such cheap politics is being played on attacking our Didi, the daughter of our soil, in this way, where there was no police personnel. She is someone who goes out and reaches to each and every people on ground. She goes to the tea stall, drinks tea from there, meets people on ground. And to attack someone, such cheap politics from the opponents, I feel this is one of the most darkest hours. And I am really, really broken down on listening to that, because I was outside. I just got the news. It's shaking me. And over that, I mean, she is the chief minister. BJP is telling this is a political ploy. Who will do a political ploy and injure herself? She is badly hurt. Everyone has seen the footage. She has to come back to Kolkata. It's only because they know that there is no way Nandigram is going to go to them. It's going to be a clean sweep at Nandigram for TMC and for our Didi. That's what I feel, and I'm really heartbroken on this incident. It's one of the darkest hours, I feel.
Who's going to target the Chief Minister of a state? What good is going to come out of it? We are in election season right now, and she says there was no police present. Now that is for me a big concern. If there is no police around, a sitting Chief Minister, what about the other security deployment here?
Well, to be very honest, see, I was not over there, but the way I know her, she goes out on the ground to meet people. And why police wasn't present there, I cannot say, because I wasn't there present at that situation. But let's not talk about law and order and everything, because right now our chief minister is hurt. Some people has attacked Mamata Banerjee, and why will they attack Mamata Banerjee? In the last few days, months, you have been repeatedly telling what is the condition which the opponents had said go against her. It was all verbal, all sort of bad talks, bad mouth thing was being done, and now it has gone physical. That's what I feel.
Priyanka Tibrewal, why does your party believe that this is a political ploy? I mean, your party from day one has been saying that there is a massive lawlessness in the state of West Bengal. The top cop needs to be shunted out. All of that is taking place now. Why do you suddenly believe that this can't be a genuine attack?
Yes, it can be. I don't refuse. And I am really very shocked and petrified on this such and such attack which has happened on the Chief Minister. See, she is a very courageous lady and we all appreciate her courage. And today, if something like this is happening with the Chief Minister, this is a matter of great concern and this should be looked into immediately. They should complain to the Election Commission. But a pertinent question which comes to my mind is that if they were noticing the security arrangements weren't proper since morning, She has a Z security. So why didn't they complain during the entire day? They should have immediately complained. See, this is no Tom, Dick and Harry. This is the Chief Minister of West Bengal. It is not that she moves alone. The entire group of people moves with her. So when all of them were moving, her personal securities were moving, they always noticed that what kind of people she's surrounded with always. So they should have raised this issue since morning. Why didn't they raise the issue is the second concern which I'm having now in my mind. But having said and done all that, what I actually want to know is the truth behind this, that if today a chief minister is not safe in the state, then that means that whatever we were saying throughout the past 5 years, that violence is existing in West Bengal, is that true? Then she should have believed us when we were saying so. So now whatever is the situation, that should be investigated. Election Commission should look into it. What has happened, and the Chief Minister and the people who are there with the Chief Minister each day should also state why didn't they raise any objection since morning.
No, I am right now reading out what your own party leader Arjun Singh had to say, and he's pointed out that 300 police people with Mamata Banerjee. How did they not apprehend the attacker? This is all drama that she is doing to gain sympathy. Now, how can we, without any investigation, jump to this conclusion?
See, absolutely. In the past, we have seen that whatever happens, everybody thinks that, when anything is happening with the opposition, they say that this is a drama. But again, the question coming to my mind is when the TMC accuses us of doing dramas, they say that, we are making up things. So we are the opposition here and they blame us. We are not even into power. But again, I shift the focus back to the CM, that she's the CM of West Bengal. She is in power. She has so many security people around her. And now if she's complaining about the same, they should be looked into. They should be investigated.
Okay, let me just one more time emphasize in what we saw play out just about a little over an hour ago when this car came to, driving, stopped at a point where there were a bunch of journalists, including ours. Mamata Banerjee then spoke to Siddhant and she said that she had been injured and she had been attacked. She opened the door. She showed her leg saying, this is where the injury is. 4 to 5 men came. They slammed the door on my leg and that's how I got injured. And as she's talking to the journalist there, she begins to get breathless. She also speaks about chest pain. She's holding her head. And while she says that I don't want to talk, let me just go now. I need to go to Calcutta. I need to get, take rest. Her security personnel or those who are with her then stop the car again and take her out. She's not able to even stand. And they support her and they put her in the back seat and then the car drives off. Now, Mr. Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay, obviously one needs to investigate on what happened and how did the security lapse take place that the Chief Minister gets attacked. But how do these visuals play out and how will they be witnessed? Is the allegation that she's playing a sympathy card really, is there a merit to it? Will it work with people?
No, I think, I noticed a slight nuance difference between what your BJP spokesperson was saying on the program that, yes, this needs investigation. This is a very serious allegation and it should not be dismissed. On the other hand, you quoted a tweet from a BJP leader, Arjun Singh, which was that she's just created a cock and bull story. This is absolutely sheer drama politics. So this sharp contradiction is something, which comes to my mind straight away. I think it's very important, what the BJP spokesperson on the program, she said, that it really needs to be understood. And there is actually, if this can happen to the Chief Minister so early in the campaign, how violent is the campaign going to get as the days progresses, as we get closer to the polling dates? We still have, almost a month before the first phase of constituencies go into polls. So it is extremely worrisome and needs to be investigated. Mamata Banerjee is a past veteran where it comes to facing physical violence, not just only a few years, but this is something, which has been there right from the early 1980s, from the time that she came into student politics, 81, 82 onwards. From that time onwards, she's faced the brunt of left front, violence. And she's weathered the storm, so she's a past, vendor. But age is catching up with her, and she definitely looks to be in great physical discomfort. I hope that she recovers and she's not very seriously hurt and does not fall ill. Otherwise, it's going to change the entire nature of the campaign.
Oh yes, absolutely. It will change the nature of the campaign, and like you have pointed out from day one, since the time she was a student politician, she's been in the thick of things. In the past, she has been attacked multiple times, several of those times by the left goons. But what we are looking at now, we don't know what really happened. We only know what Mamata Banerjee has to tell us and the reactions that are coming in. Snigdhendu, how do you read this development, the claims that she's made? Is it also going to at some point connect with the fact that the DGP has been removed from Bengal, and that will now be raised as an issue to say, look what's happening to law and order? The Chief Minister is not safe.
Exactly, this is what the Trinamool is saying. Since the incident has happened, I mean, Trinamool Congress spokespersons like Devanshu Bhattacharya and Om Prakash Mishra, they have all cited that the state government, that state administration is no longer under Mamata Banerjee. It is under the election commission now. They are changing police at their will. So they are citing this, that the DGP was removed yesterday and today there was no police cover for Mamata Banerjee when this particular incident happened. This shows the callousness or probable conspiracy. This is the Trinamool's argument has been so far since the incident. The BJP has, of course, rubbished it. I mean, Kailash Vijayvargiya, National General Secretary and Bengal in charge, he has categorically said that no one even dares to bat an eye against Mamata Banerjee in West Bengal. Forget daring to attack her. So, and Arjun Singh has also clearly said that this is nothing but a drama. And the BJP will continue its campaign on this line, that this is a drama to gain sympathy, as it appears from their statements that has come across till now, since the incident happened. So I think this is going to dominate the discourse over the next few days at least. Am I audible?
Oh yes, absolutely it is going to. In fact, I'm just getting in information that she's on her way to Kolkata and she's perhaps going to go directly to the SSKM hospital in about the next 40 to 45 minutes. We may have an update as she reaches the main city. But no, so Snigdhendu, you know what you're saying, that could play out in the next couple of days. Let me get in a reaction from Priyanka Tibrewal on this. Priyanka Tibrewal, TMC focusing and alleging that, look, this is what it is. We don't even have control over our own state police.
See, I've already shown and expressed my concern, but apart from that, there are two simultaneous thoughts which are coming in my mind. I am not accusing anyone, nor am I alleging anything. But what comes to my mind is, there were certain incidents, and with dates I will tell you. 2nd May 2018, Mamata Banerjee accused and alleged that political parties were trying to kill her. Again, in 14th of October 2009, Mamata Banerjee, she was a rail minister then. Then she said that a car tried to literally kill her. Again, in 2011, September 26, Mamata Banerjee said that Maoists were trying to kill her. And again, in 2020, she said that parties are trying to kill me. Now, what comes to my mind again is that all these time, after these statements came from Mamata Banerjee, no investigation was done in these incidents where she was claiming. So my question is that the same incident which has taken place today should not be left untouched. Investigations should take place as to every time someone or the other is trying to kill her. So what is behind that incident? The truth should come out. And the other thing which I would like to say spontaneous, which I said that two thoughts coming into my mind, is that BJP is not that made that yesterday the election commission has deployed someone else as the law and order officer in West Bengal, and that today BJP will plan such an attack on the chief minister. I am sorry, we are a very experienced party and we do not believe in violence.
Okay, now, and we'll keep getting more updates and details as this story is definitely going to now play out in a bigger way in the next couple of days as well. But let's also get our viewers what we had promised them, and the details of the Times Now See Voters survey that we've done. And today I will be focusing more on the personalities. I'll be focusing more on how people are seeing the government and the Chief Minister's performance. So, in West Bengal, let me just tell you straight up as key takeaways that over 50%, almost 54% people actually see Mamata Banerjee as the most suitable candidate. And the interesting part is that between her and the number 2, there is a huge gap. There's a massive gap between the second choice who comes after Mamata Banerjee, and that's Dilip Ghosh of the BJP. And he comes in with about 24% of the vote that the respondents have given. Suvendu Adhikari, who's in news, is a big name right now because he will be contesting against Mamata Banerjee. Just about got 2.7% of the votes from our respondents in this survey. 44%, which is a very large number if you see across many states when we do such kind of service. 44% said they're very satisfied with Mamata's performance. Now let's break it down. For you, and they're very interesting insights. Like, for example, one of the insights is while a larger number of people, over 50%, are backing Mamata Banerjee, over 44% are very satisfied with her. There's also a majority who believes that the BJP might win. So there is a difference between who they think seems to have done a good job and how they perceive the entire surround sound and the noise that is being created right now that shows, oh, BJP might win. These are very interesting, numbers and some insights that these numbers have really thrown up. So I'm going to break it down for you. Mamata Banerjee, most suitable, most preferred CM candidate, 54% voting for her. Next comes Dilip Ghosh with 24.9% votes going in his favor. Then Mukul Roy. And keep in mind, Mukul Roy, till a few years ago, was in TMC, switched sides. If we ask people about Mukul Roy as a possible CM candidate, 7.3% people voted in his favor. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, 2.3% votes. Sojourn Chakrabarti of the CPM, 4%. Abhishek Banerjee of the TMC, 1.2%. Suvendu Adhikari, the big name, doing the rounds right now, 2.6%. This also makes me ask the question, and I actually want to take it to our experts before I bring in the next set of numbers. Mr. Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay, what is your view of this BJP strategy to not always have a CM candidate? There have been certain state elections where they have announced a CM candidate and it's worked. In others, they've not announced and it's worked still. They've gone in with big guns, banking on Narendra Modi's name or Amit Shah's name, and it's worked for them. How will it play out this time, your view?
The BJP is a highly centralized party in the Modi era. We have seen it right from 2014 onwards, when, in fact, Mr. Narendra Modi was not just contesting from Varanasi and Baroda, but he was contesting from each of those constituencies from where the BJP had fielded a candidate. Now, that has been the same case, so it's not really who is going to be the chief minister. Rather, it's always projected as that whoever it is going to be a representative of Mr. Modi. That has been the approach of the party. That had been to the benefit of the BJP in certain states where they have faced with a very strong local leader, like for instance in Delhi, where they've had to face Arvind Kejriwal. This has worked against them. It also worked against them to a great extent in Maharashtra, because of local factors. But here the problem is that you have possibly one of the most charismatic leaders that Bengal has seen in recent decades. After the decline of Jyoti Basu as a political leader, and especially after he resigned as chief minister, Mamata Banerjee has been the undisputed most popular leader. So the BJP's biggest problem is that it does not have a chief ministerial face. Its biggest advantage is that everybody who is field contesting the state elections is not actually contesting in his name or her name, but he is contesting in the name of Mr. Modi.
Yes, absolutely. And like you said, in the case of Maharashtra, for Fadnavis' first term, there was no name. He was brought in much later after the party had won. In Haryana, we saw them, fight in the name of Prime Minister Modi again, riding the Modi wave. That's where ML Khattar was brought in after they won. Now, both of them, of course, got a second chance as the CM phase in round 2 of elections. We'll see what happens with Yogi Adityanath in round 2. But again, CM phase announced after the elections. Snigdhendu, your view, will this strategy work in West Bengal? Because here, your other face is really big and still is extremely popular as Mamata Banerjee.
To my understanding, this going to the elections with Mr. Modi's face is the best bet for BJP, because you can see from the survey very well that there is no match for Mamata Banerjee at the local level. If the elections turn into Mamata Banerjee versus Dilip Ghosh, Mamata Banerjee versus Mukul Roy, TMC will have will be miles ahead. But what is missing in this survey, and probably which hasn't been surveyed, is what is people of Bengal saying about the popularity between Modi and Mamata? Because I think the popularity of Modi must be higher than that of Dilip Ghosh, and that could come close to Mamata Banerjee. So this is the best option the BJP have as of now, since they don't have any match at the state level for Mamata Banerjee to take on Mamata Banerjee or even be compared with Mamata Banerjee.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so there is no denying the fact that they seem to have not been able to nurture a name at all so far, and then the best option, it seems, is this. Will it work is the big question. Before I move in with the next data, Shoptik, you wanted to make a point. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I just wanted to know, will Mr. Modi ji leave his prime ministerial post and come to Bengal and become the CM of Bengal if he wants to contest against our Didi, Mamata Banerjee? Because making Modi ji's face does not matter, because he is the prime minister. He is not going to be in Bengal to look after the people of Bengal. And obviously, thanks to your poll, it's clear that Didi is right there at the top and no one around her. She is a fearless tiger. She has faced this kind of brutality which happened today, before also, and today also. And this shows the opponents are pretty scared and they know it's going to be a clear sweep for Didi.
Can I come in?
Priyanka Tibrewal, do you want to answer that? Of course, it's more rhetorical because Prime Minister Modi is not contesting elections and BJP's Wada is of twin engine. But yeah, go ahead.
It's difficult for them to understand because they're a regional party, so they don't understand how a national party works. Now, apart from that, let me say that when they say that on all the 294 seats, Mamata Banerjee is contesting the elections, I was quiet, sir, when you were making your point. So on all the 294
I understand that.
seats,
I just corrected you. We are a national party.
When on all the 294 seats, when they say that it is Mamata Banerjee who is contesting the election, let me just remind them that in a democracy, on all those seats, the elected representatives, they come and they are elected by the people and they are answerable to the people. So today, if Mamata Banerjee is going and saying that, please forgive the people who have not worked for you and please vote for me, she will have to answer that on all those 294 seats, they have elected their own representative and not Mamata Banerjee as a sole elected representative of West Bengal. And apart from that, so I do not have much to say about this survey because I think the person speaking before me has already mentioned that if this is an election where you are saying it is versus Modi versus Mamata, then you have not done the survey according to that. And yes, we do not feel shame. We are proud to say that the Prime Minister of our country, Modi ji, is somebody who is from our party. And again, once again, we are a national party and there's a different way in which we work.
Oh, well, it's not just the only question we asked, right? There are a series of questions. I'll take you to some of the others as well because it's extremely interesting. For example, when we asked people about to rate the TMC government's performance, 48% actually said good, 33.8% said poor, and about 18% said, well, average. So now it will be very interesting to see how these people vote and whether this performance actually becomes a factor. 48% saying good performance by Mamata Banerjee. Here is the other side. And this is where it gets more and more interesting in terms of how people are thinking and judging what they have seen. When we ask them, are you angry or want to change the government, a 43% said yes. When we ask them, are you angry with the current government but don't want a change or don't believe a change is really needed, 40% said yes. And then there were 16% who said, well, we are not angry and we don't need change. And if you combine it together to ask whether you want a change in the government, that would be roughly about 56.6% people saying, no, we don't want a change in the government, irrespective of the fact whether they are angry or disappointed with how much this government has done. On the other hand, when you ask the same respondents, the same set of people and respondents, which party or alliance do you think will win? And the question specifically said, well, keep aside your own political leanings, keep aside your own political view or who you might be voting for, but tell us who do you think will win? And interestingly, a larger percentage actually said BJP. 40.7% said BJP and 38.5% said TMC. And then there was Congress party, 8.4% said it for them. There were about 3.8% who said, well, we can't say. This is very interesting to me, Mr. Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay, of how while a larger percentage majority seems to be backing Mamata Banerjee in their responses and her party, they believe, and a majority believes that the BJP might win. There is a difference in the perception that seems to be created here.
I'll begin with the last figure in your survey of the final table that you have presented. That is that which party do they think that they will win? I think the sampling has been completely erroneous because I cannot think for any respondent who is not politically aligned. 16% of the people, I think, if I did the correction correctly, are saying that it is going to be the Congress or the left. Now, I do not think that anybody who has any political sense in Bengal will think that they have even an outside chance of forming the government. So basically, I think, what has happened is that they have gone to the party loyalists. So it all depends on that. There definitely is a fairly strong amount of anti-incumbent sentiment against the Trinamool Congress and specifically against Mamata Banerjee's government, both in terms on issues of corruption and on issues of law and order. There has been a deficiency on that. I know Trinamool Congress leaders are going to contest this claim of mine, but this has been visible right from the time in 2018 onwards, from the local body elections. The Trinamool Congress has combated that and has not been able to do it. They have tried to recover ground in the last few months by several steps, especially after the charges which were leveled in the aftermath of the cyclone last year. So there definitely are challenges. And as far as, the other, which is the other, table that you were talking about?
So let me ask you, yes, the other part was, which you may want to respond on, was about whether you're angry with the TMC government. 43% said we are angry and we want to change the government, while 40% said we are angry but no change in government is needed.
So I think, it reflects the same thing, that while they continue to have faith in Mamata Banerjee, yet there is an anti-incumbent sentiment to how this is going to play out during the campaign. It all depends that which is the primary fulcrum in this elections. Is it going to be primarily an anti-incumbent sentiment which is going to be dominating the elections, or whether it is going to be, what the Trinamool is saying as being an anti-outside the plank which they are trying to create. So will the votes be divided? The anti-Trinamool Congress will be divided in the three-way contest, or is it going to be the anti-BJP which will be divided? If it is the anti-BJP vote, definitely the BJP will be in an advantageous position. And on the other side, if the anti-Trinamool Congress gets divided, then it is going to benefit the Trinamool Congress.
Okay, before I get the TMC to respond to this, Nigdendu, do you want to weigh in as well?
Yes, to my understanding, if this election is going to be about pro Mamata and anti Mamata. So the pro Mamata, the pro governments, those who don't want a change, will consolidate behind Mamata Banerjee, and those who are aggrieved uh, and want a change will vote mostly for BJP, but in some places for the left and the Congress. So the anti-incumbency vote will be split, even though I anticipate that BJP will gain the lion's share of anti-incumbency in Bengal.
Interesting. Okay, Shoptik, do you want to respond to what is being said here, especially the anti-incumbency that stems from law and order, corruption, and performance issues?
Well, I would like to say 10 years government, there's bound to be anti-incumbency. But our party, our government is a human government. They reach out to people. If there are certain flaws, certain mistakes, they're ready to go ahead and solve the problem. That's why there has been this initiative of Duare Sarkar, which is the world's largest outreach program, where we have gone out, met people, and solved their issues. There will be issues. There cannot be zero issues. And I feel the way we have reached out to the people of Bengal and have solved so many problems, so many STSC certificates have been given. There has been this Shastopati card, which has really helped a lot of people, and a lot of people have already got treatment. So these small things which common people want, free ration from COVID till July 21, everything has worked for Didi and Kanya Shri, Shastro Shati. There has been a lot of projects, 64 projects which has been set up for people of Bengal, and they are happy about it. Some part of it might be that people are unhappy, but in a 10 years government, there has to be some sort of anti-incumbency. But we as a party, we are human party. We are ready to accept that, okay, we have lagged here, so we will go ahead and solve this problem. And that is the biggest thing which people want, where they need a human party, a party who understands them, who believes in them, and be with them on the ground, on the soil, in the Trinamool, as we say. That's the mool, the roots, from the roots. So it's a rooted party. So that's what I feel.
Yes, Priyanka. Priyanka wanted to come in. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Yes. So, the last chart which you showed, that is the best one which I like. That's my favorite one, where you have asked that how many people think that they need a change in the government. So I was happy about that. And I really like the honesty of Shoptik when he said that there are people who are unhappy with
Well, that
CMC,
could
and
just mean,
am saying the
Priyanka,
same.
that the BJP and the supporters of BJP have managed to create this perception and a lot of noise about, how you've gained strength and you've gained ground. That the people seem to believe
And
that
I
more
truly-
than the number of people who may vote for
one
you.
thing, that coming events cast their shadows before. And we have seen the shadows in 2019 in the Lok Sabha elections. So whatever is coming, and that the results will be out on 2nd of May. Because the only simple basic reason is that TMC cannot extricate itself from the syndicate system, from the corruption system, and leave apart all that. The promises made by Mamata Banerjee in 2016 manifesto.
Today all the TMC corrupted ministers has been absorbed by BJP.
Are all left unfulfilled. Whether they were the promises made to Singhu people, whether they were the promises made in Nandigram, nothing has been fulfilled. The farmers are left, they are left without justice.
I'm sorry, but I need to correct you. BJP has a very strong social media approach where on WhatsApp they spread fake news.
Shoptik, just let her finish. Shoptik, just let her finish, please. I will come to you, then you can counter her / correct her. Let her finish. Yeah, Priyanka.
Okay, so the farmers whom she had promised that will get justice, they were given lands which were not even fit for cultivation. Now, apart from that, when she said new projects will come in Bengal, investment will pop in Bengal, empowerment of the youth, zero policy for crime against women, zero tolerance against women and children, everything is unfulfilled. And now that is the reason they are not speaking about all this. What are they speaking about? They're speaking about religion. They are doing Chandi Path, and they accuse BJP of being religious. They have exposed themselves. They have shown what they are.
Okay. Quick comment
Now
from
go.
Shoptik.
Now you can-
Quick
now you can
comment from
comment,
Shoptik
Mr.
before I have to wrap this up then.
A
Yes.
party who talks about religion, who believes in polarizing votes on the case of religion, cannot talk about Chandipat or anything else. Bengal is the land of culture and heritage where all people stay together, stick together. We see people celebrating Durga Puja together. We see people celebrating Eid together. Let's not talk about that. And let's not talk about, again, about the corruption or anything where social media is highly influenced by BJP. We have seen fake videos being pushed through WhatsApp, social media. And if you're talking about TMC, corrupted ministers are being absorbed by BJP.
You'll have to explain it
BJP
to the
doesn't
people
have
of West
any new
Bengal,
leaders.
but you have no time.
All right.
Sorry?
Completely out of time. I just want to leave our viewers with one more statistic. When we ask people of how satisfied are you with the performance of the West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, while 44.76% said very much satisfied, there was also a 34.54% that says satisfied to some extent. So essentially, if you add this up, you're actually looking at about a 77% who seem to be pretty content with Mamata Banerjee. That is not to say there is no anti-incumbency, but will that be enough for people to explore the options and specifically explore the option of voting for BJP in West Bengal to a large extent, to a majority extent, is what we have to wait and watch. Completely out of time as far as the Bengal conversation is concerned. We have similar surveys that we've conducted for Kerala and Tamil Nadu, and that's what I've got lined up for you on the other side. So I'm going to thank our Bengal guests for joining us on this conversation. Quick break. On the other side, lots more. We also are keeping a close track of the SSKM hospital in Kolkata. TMC supporters have gathered there in anticipation that Mamata Banerjee will directly come there after the alleged attack. So stay with us. We'll be bringing to you live shots from outside SSKM hospital in Kolkata, when Mamata Banerjee, I am told, is arriving now. A large number of TMC supporters have gathered there already. This is just about an hour and a half after she alleged that she had been attacked by 4 to 5 people in the Nandigram district, and from there she headed straight out back to Kolkata. Mamata Banerjee claiming that she's been injured. She's got injury on her legs. Let's see if we can listen into what's happening there.
A team of 5 doctors have been formed to examine Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, check on the injuries that she has sustained. The security here in place. She is being taken out of the car and she will be put in the stretcher and taken inside. She, on your screen now, Abhishek Banerjee there waiting to speak to Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, all the security there in place, and now slowly she's going to be taken out. She's coming out of the car. We can see her there. She's being taken out in the car and she will be put on that stretcher and taken inside for an examination to check on what kind of serious injuries has she sustained. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee there on your screen via security being taken. She has an ice pack and a handkerchief tied to her left leg, which she has injured. Now she's going to be taken in that stretcher inside SSKM hospital. Her security helping her there on the stretcher. By her side, Abhishek Banerjee, Arup Biswas and Krishna Chakraborty. Abhishek ensuring that Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee is relaxed. On your screen there, you can see how Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee is being taken in the stretcher. She has an ice pack on the left foot of hers. All the security there going in with her, leading the stretcher, of course. Abhishek Banerjee there by her side. Also, police personnel is videographing the entire incident. You can see there is a handycam with the police who is, recording this entire episode, because the Election Commission has sought a report. All this will be submitted to the Election Commission because the Tibrewal Congress is not going to take this lying low. She will be examined by a team of 5 senior doctors here at government-run SSKM hospital, and thereafter decision will be taken on the kind of treatment that she will be getting. Of course, people here started raising slogans in support of Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, and briefly there were anti-BJP slogans also that were raised here in the hospital, so you can understand the kind of mood that this has created ahead of elections here in West Bengal. On a day Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has filed her nomination from Nandigram, she alleges that she's been attacked, she's been targeted. There were no police personnel when this attack took place in Nandigram, and of course here the tight security in place at SSKM hospital. She's been taken inside. Short while ago we got those visuals of the stretcher being taken inside, Abhishek Banerjee being by her side at every moment, and of course the senior TMC leaders Krishna Chakraborty, Arup Biswas. There is heavy sloganeering here. If I can just ask my camera person to pan people over here, well-wishers of Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. You can see the kind of mood that is there here on ground. The moment they found out that the Chief Minister is injured, lots of people rushed here, and you can see the kind of sloganeering here in support of Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. And this is the kind of mood that has been created. क्या कहना चाहेंगे आप? आपको लगता है कि ये कोई कॉन्स्पिरेसी है, क्योंकि जिस दिन ममता बनर्जी ने नॉमिनेशन फाइल किया है उसी दिन ये हादसा उनके साथ होता है?
देखिए, ये बहुत ही शर्मनाक एक हादसा ममता बनर्जी, जननेत्री ममता बनर्जी सीएम के साथ हुआ है। इस तरह का घिन्न राजनीति बंगाल में बीजेपी द्वारा हो रहा है। हम बंगाल की जनता धिक्कार जनाते हैं।
आपको लगता है कि बीजेपी ने ये किया है? कांग्रेस, लेफ्ट, बाकी पार्टीज भी है, आपको क्यों लगता है कि बीजेपी ने ये किया?
क्योंकि इससे पहले भी हमने देखा है बहुत सी जगह में जहां मारपीट की राजनीति आती है वहां भाजपा ही नजर आता है। इसलिए ये भी कहीं ना कहीं बीजेपी के लोग नहीं किया है।
आपको क्या लगता है, ये क्या कोई हादसा है कि ये टारगेट?
दीदी मेरी अम्मा है, अम्मा, ये पश्चिम बांग्ला का अम्मा है। ये ममता दी अच्छा आदमी है। ये जो हुआ है बहुत गलत काम हुआ हम लोगों के साथ। ममता बनर्जी हम लोग मार करते रहे, ये बहुत गलत काम हुआ है। बीजेपी को टारगेट है सीएम, लेकिन ममता का जैसे काम कोई आज तक कर नहीं पाएगा। बीजेपी सिर्फ वो दामिया बातों में আমাদের মাকে আজকে লেগেছে, আমাদের মায়ের মতন এটা ভালো হয়নি। আমরা বিজেপি কে আগামী দিনে জবাব দেব, পুরো বাংলা জবাব দিবে বিজেপি কে। এটা ভালো কাজ হয়নি, 2030 तक रहेगा।
आपको लगता है ये हादसा था? ये
না, এটা সাজিশ, এটা শুধু বিজেপি কাজ, এটা অন্য দল করেনি, এটা সিভিল বিজেপি করেছে। ये बीजेपी का काम है और इसका जवाब बीजेपी को आगे दिन भुगतना पड़ेगा। हम लोग जवाब देंगे, पूरा बंगला जवाब देगा। हम लोग का माँ को लगा है आज, हम लोग का माँ को लगा।
So that's the kind of emotion here, Rahul. हमारे माँ को लगा है, हम अगले दिन जवाब देने वाले हैं. This is the kind of emotional stir that has taken place on ground. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee now admitted at SSKM hospital. By her side, her nephew Abhishek Banerjee, West Bengal Minister Arup Biswas, Krishna Chakraborty, and other leaders are expected to come in. Of course, the police here still in position. After the doctors examine her, the 5 senior doctors who will be examining her left foot, we did see that there was an ice pack, a handkerchief wrapped around her left foot. It is so grave that she couldn't sit her by herself on the wheelchair, and she had to be taken on the stretcher. And these are the scenes right now outside the SSKM Woodburn block here in Kolkata, where Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has been admitted. Back to you, Rahul.
Well, there you go. So that's Shreyasi. They're reporting, from outside the hospital where Mamata Banerjee has just arrived, being carried on a stretcher, and she was carried on the stretcher with her nephew Abhishek Banerjee right by her side. A large number of TMC supporters, perhaps party workers, gathered outside, sloganeering, emotions they're running high. We're going to take a very short break. We'll come right back with lots more. Stay with us.